Universe came into existence from nothing. Universe created itself. Universe created by something else created. Universe is eternal. God created universe, which sounds more coherent. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقه قولي. Welcome with Islamic greeting. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Islam versus atheism, which makes more sense when it comes to God. If you go to the contemporary human history, we find out that throughout the civilizations, people used to believe in God or
gods.
But at the same time, we cannot deny that there were no atheistic ideas or thoughts back in the history. But the rapid growth of the atheism took place after the Enlightenment period, after 17th and 18th century. Therefore, now God is one of the heated debate amongst the philosophers, thinkers, theologians, atheists, theists. But today we'll take Islam versus atheism in order to know which sounds more coherent, Islam or atheism. Islam is a religion. We believe in God is the most basic and fundamental thing. Islam is a pure monotheistic religion. It condemns or denies polytheism in all shape and form. On the other hand, atheism is a lack of belief in the existence of God. Atheism always argues against the existence of God. Atheism is the denial of God. But although some apologetic atheists shy away from the notion that atheism is the denial of God. Anyhow, today I will make philosophical arguments for the existence of God based on Quranic verses. Allah Ta'ala says in chapter 52, verse 35 to 36, or were they created by nothing, or were they the created of themselves, or did they create heaven and earth? Indeed, they have no certainty. The primary objective of this ayah is to not make the deep philosophical argument, but the primary objective of this ayah is to trigger the fitrah, to awaken the fitrah, to uncloud the fitrah, because it is directly referring to the human beings. But if we extend it from human beings to the universe, then we can also make a comprehensive, deep philosophical argument. So here three possibilities are mentioned, but I will assume five possibilities. Possibility A: universe came into existence from nothing, or universe created by nothing. Possibility B: universe created itself. Possibility C: universe created by something else created. Possibility D: universe is eternal. Possibility E: God created universe. Let's take one by one. Possibility A: universe created by nothing, or universe came into existence from nothing. What do we mean by nothing? We mean by nothing no prior cause, no physical reality at all. So we are talking about absolute nothing. We're not talking about Professor Krauss nothing. He explains nothing as the absence of space and time. But speaking from a scientific point of view, there's still some physical reality. So we are not talking about Professor Krauss nothing, we are talking about absolute nothing. If we take this possibility under consideration, there are problems. For example, if you believe that universe created by nothing, so I will ask you a question. Based on what evidence, based on what knowledge, based on what principle, based on what standard do you believe that universe came into existence from nothing? But if you just believe, then you shouldn't reject the claim if someone tell you that I was going to school, I was getting late, so suddenly car created in front of me, I sit in the car and came to school. So you can't reject this claim too, because you have no standard to reject this claim, because you already believe that something can come into existence from nothing. So here I will also discuss one of the objection or one of the explanation of the atheists. I have heard from atheists They say that it may be possible that universe has no cause. They say that causality only makes sense in time because cause comes before the effect. So here is the term before, and before is the term of time. So causality only makes sense in time. Out of time, causality does not make any sense. So before the Big Bang, there was no time. So universe has caused by nothing. This objection or this explanation seems to be smarter, but if we look into this explanation, there are problems. For example, you said that out of time causality does not make any sense, only causality makes sense in time, but you also said that before Big Bang there was no time. So it means Big Bang caused the time. So time by itself has a cause. Then how can you say causality does not make any sense out of time? Moving to possibility B. Universe created itself, or universe gave birth to itself. If we take this possibility into critical analysis, there are issues. If you believe that universe created itself or universe gave birth to itself, it means you are accepting that something can and cannot exist at the same time. Because if universe want to create itself, then it must exist in the first place in order to create itself. Or universe must exist in the first place in order to give birth to itself. So this is one of the failed possibility. Possibility C. Universe created by something else created. This possibility leads us into the absurdity of infinite regress. For example, if I say our universe was created by universe 1, universe 1 was created by universe 2, universe 2 was created by universe 3, and it goes for infinite. If it goes for infinite, then I wouldn't have this universe in the first place. Let me understand you with example. For example, I want to build a home. So I ask authority 1 for permission. So authority 1 give me reply that I don't have full authority. I will ask authority 2. So authority 1 asks authority 2. Authority 2 give the same reply, and authority 2 asks authority 3. Authority 3 gave the same reply, and authority 3 asks authority 4. And it goes for infinite. If it goes for infinite, so I will never build home forever. The second problem with this possibility is if you say that there's chain of infinite causes. If this chain of infinite causes, then how can this chain of infinite causes reach from the infinity to our universe? It doesn't make any sense. Possibility D. Universe is eternal. If you put this possibility under a critical analysis, there are some basic problems. Number 1, problem of limitation. If something has limitation, it means it doesn't work in all conditions. So universe has limitation. It means universe cannot work in all conditions. If it cannot work in all conditions, then it cannot be eternal. Number 2, problem of infinity. Infinity can exist in ideas, but in real world it is very, very absurd concept. For example, if you say universe is eternal, it means universe exists for infinite time, but infinite time does not make sense. For example, if I add trillion centuries into this infinite time, or if I subtract trillion centuries from this infinite time, what effect would have this addition or subtraction? It wouldn't have any effect. It will be still infinite. So therefore, infinite time is absurd in real world. I will give you another example for clarification. For example, there is a garden and there is infinite people. If I take out trillion people from these infinite people, or if I add trillion people into these infinite people, so what would this this addition or subtraction, what effect would this addition and subtraction will have? No effect. They will be still infinite. So therefore, infinity and real world is very opposite concept, but it can exist in ideas. The second problem with this infinity is, if you say universe exists for infinite time, then the question is, how can this time reach from the infinity to this present moment? It doesn't make any sense. Number three, if you say universe is eternal, it means that the uniformity, stability, order which we see in the universe has created by universe. Universe which is unconscious, non-intelligent, non-living. How can non-intelligent, non-living, unconscious universe create order, stability, uniformity? It doesn't make any sense. If you say it may be due to evolution. So evolution is just blind random process. How can blind random process leads universe into uniformity, stability, order? It's beyond understanding. Number four, if you say universe is eternal, it means that we are all the product of blind process, blind forces. If you're all the product of blind process, blind forces, then we don't have any meaning. I'm meaningless, you are meaningless, and this whole universe is meaningless. I don't have purpose, you don't have purpose, and this universe have no purpose. There is no morality, no evil, no good. We are just going in the blind. We are just going in this ocean of blindness. So it's one of the failed possibility to say that universe is eternal. Possibility D. God created the universe. Who is God? According to Islam, according to Quran, God is one, uncreated, eternal, transcendent, omnipotent, omniscient, omnibenevolent, omnipresent. So these are the main attributes of God. There are also other attributes of God. So we believe that such a being created universe. Now, there are no intellectual philosophical problems, but there are some objections of the atheists which are about the attributes of God. I will discuss them at the end. But I want to discuss here one of the most important point. Why there can be only one God but not multiple God. It has answered by the Quran that if there were multiple God, universe would have destroyed. Imagine multiple ultimate wills, multiple ultimate powers, and they coexist. If they coexist, there would be conflict. So logically speaking, multiple gods does not make sense. So coming to the objection. Objection number one. You may have faced this objection from atheist side, which was actually raised by the 12th century polymath Averroes. He says, can an omnipotent being, can God create so heavy rock that he cannot lift? If you say yes, then you are actually denying the quality of omnipotence. If you say no, again you are denying the quality of omnipotence. Because he says, can God create so heavy rock that he cannot lift? He cannot lift is against the quality of omnipotence. If you say no, it's already against the quality of omnipotence. How to deal with this question? So if you look to this question is self-problematic. This question is meaningless question because you are making God at the same time capable and incapable in this question. Therefore, it is a meaningless question. You can ask who created uncreated, but this question and real world is meaningless. So therefore, this question is also meaningless that you are making God incapable and capable at the same time. The second problem with this question is that we Muslims believe that God all powers are infinite. God powers of creating is infinite and God powers of lifting is infinite. So both powers of God are infinite. So if both powers are infinite, so they will not overcome each other. You cannot limit any power of God. and God will not limit his own power, because limitations is weakness, and God is free from all weakness. Therefore, God will not give limitation to himself. So both powers are infinite, power of creating and power of lifting. So both powers are infinite, so they will not overcome each other. Objection number two. You may have faced this objection from atheist side, which was actually raised by the Greek philosopher Epicurus. His objection is following. Is God willing to prevent evil but not able? Then he is not omnipotent. Is God able but not willing to prevent evil? Then he is malevolent. Ma'azallah. Is God able and willing to prevent evil? Then whence cometh evil? So to make his objection simple, he says, if there is God who is omnipotent and omnibenevolent, then why there is evil? So it has answered by the Quran. Allah Ta'ala says in chapter 76 verse 2, we have created a man from a mixed sperm drop to put him to a test. Then we made him able to hear, able to see. It is clear from the Quran that we are under a test. If we are under a test, then there must be evil and good. If there is only good, then it will be not test. For example, MCQ's paper. If there are only right option and the MCQ's paper, then it will be not a test. In order to be a test, there must be right and wrong option. Similarly, if this world is for test, then there must be evil and good. I want to also clarify one more point. God has created evil, but it doesn't mean that God is evil. For example, an MCQ's paper, teacher put wrong option. But it doesn't mean that teacher does not know or teacher is not intelligent. Therefore, there is wrong options in MCQ's paper. It doesn't mean that. Because teacher has put the wrong option, because it is a test. Therefore, teacher has put wrong option in the MCQ's paper. Similarly, God has created evil because this world is test. Therefore, God has created evil. Therefore, it doesn't mean that God is evil. So, there are no intellectual philosophical problems with this possibility. To conclude, Islam sounds more coherent than atheism when it comes to God. Thank you for watching. See you next time. Leave comment below.